According to police reports, the brother of Pakistani social media star Qandeel Baloch, Wasim Azim, has been charged with a crime against the state for so-called honour killing. The case has fueled controversy in Pakistan, bringing calls for the authorities to do more to outlaw the practice, which allows relatives to avoid going to prison if they are forgiven by other family members. Maryam Nawaz Sharif, the daughter of Pakistan's Prime Minister, announced that the ruling party plans to pass long-delayed legislation against honour killings. The bill, which goes before a parliamentary committee, aims to remove the family's choice to forgive a relative and will mean that cases of this nature would lead to immediate prosecution. Qandeel Baloch became famous online by posting daring photos and videos on social media.
She was a brave girl and they killed her. So I came out to oppose those people who are killing the woman, the daughter or sisters on the name of honor.
There is no honor in killing. There is only dishonor in killing, especially that which is done by one's brothers and fathers and male relatives.
Qandeel's death casts the spotlight on so-called honour killings, the murder of a relative by another, for bringing perceived shame on their family. This custom claims around 1,000 lives every year in Pakistan. Many killers go unpunished.
Community punishment of women who step out of line is a huge issue here. But the fact that there's now a legal mechanism that families or communities can use to not be prosecuted has made it more possible. And the big fight is actually to ensure that those legal mechanisms are removed.
In Qandeel's case at least, the brother is likely to go unpunished. He has admitted to his crime, and his parents appear to want him to face justice. However, the government's decision ruling out the possibility of forgiveness will also prevent the family from intervening and will set a precedent preventing future honour killers from walking free. It is estimated that thousands of lives in Pakistan every year are lost in this way. The pattern takes its roots in tribal social norms that remain prevalent across South Asia, in which the victims are overwhelmingly women. There were 933 honour killing cases in 2015, according to Pakistan's Federal Ministry of Law, but these may only represent a fraction of the true number. The apparent rise in killings in recent years is largely linked to Pakistan's criminal code, which is a mixture of British inherited law and Islamic custom based on Sharia, introduced by military ruler Zia-ul-Haq. Baloch, whose real name was Fawzia Azim, was from the conservative working class, who was viewed as unapologetically tackling religious hypocrisy, posing for selfies with a senior government cleric, who she said sought a meeting despite publicly criticising her. In one of her last posts she wrote, "As women we must stand up for ourselves. I love the way I am." Activists say that in a country where violence against women is too common, she had put a face to honour killings.
Joining me now to discuss the issue that's caught the nation's consciousness, from Karachi is Noreen Zehra, senior news producer at ARY Digital Network, and Muhammad Waqar Bhatti from the News International, who has been covering crime-related stories in the country for over 10 years. Thank you both for joining us. First, Noreen, with the recent developments now happening, with the state getting involved in the case and the potential tabling of long-delayed legislation against honour killings, is her murder representing a tipping point in Pakistani society?
I would like to say hello to all my viewers in the UK and to you, Afzal. I personally feel that the Qandeel Baloch's killing, first of all, raises the question of whether this is exactly an honour killing, or whether her brother is using the name of honor to justify a killing. Because this is a huge question. Whether, if you look at the social media debates, you would see people questioning whether this is actually an honor killing. But if we, for hypothetically speaking, take it at the moment as an honor killing, so yes, it is kind of heating up the debate on the issue of honor killing, because before that we have seen that there have been social activist movements, and there are films that people like Sharmeen Ubaid, filmmakers like Sharmeen Ubaid have made on the subject. But the subject was not being taken as strongly as it is being taken right now. So you can say that Qandeel has given a face to the issue of honor killing right now, what you can see in the sentiment of Pakistani, public right now.
Brother Waqar, I'll ask you the same question. Do you think this represents a tipping point in the subject of so-called honor killings?
Thank you, Afzal. Actually, honor killings are happening in Pakistani society, or you can say in the Indian society for centuries. But since we have private electronic media, a lot of attention is being given to these killings. But you see, actually, we are living in a conservative, illiterate, and backward society where education level is very low, where these things are happening. People are praised for killing their female family members in the name of honor, and they are glorified. But since the emergence of private electronic media, these killings are being highlighted. Otherwise, there's no surge in these killings.
And how do you respond to, in terms of the verdict, in terms of this is the Wasim is going to be charged as a crime against the state? Do you think, why is this different to other killings?
First of all, Afzal, this killing, actually many people in Pakistan, even people in the media, they are blaming the electronic media for inciting a person to kill his real sister. Qandeel Baloch was not an artist. She emerged on social media, and then electronic media used her for creating controversies. And these controversies led to her killing by her own brother. So people are actually blaming electronic media for her killing. On the other hand, the guy, her brother Wasim, some investigators are saying that he's an addict. He's not earning anything, and this may be an issue where he may have demanded some money from her sister, and on her refusal, he killed her in rage. And then he claimed that he had killed her in the pretext of honor.
So, Noreen, I'll bring you in now. How do you respond to, in terms of the discussion going around, in terms of the media's responsibility in this case? Of course, you've been working in the news industry for many years. How do you respond to that?
Okay, I think there are several areas of, blaming the media. And I, as somebody who is part of the media industry, representative of them, like as my colleague from there says, I would say that, yes, we share a responsibility, but media shares a responsibility as an extension of society. And I would not put it entirely on the electronic media, and I will tell you how. Because each element of the media has contributed to it. Okay, so first of all, if I focus on the electronic media, I would say that in Pakistan, the boundary of the boundary of tabloid journalism versus the mainstream media, the news journalism or the current affairs journalism that we are having, it is kind of lost. And when it came to Qandeel's, the kind of reporting that was happening on Qandeel, we lost sense of that. We lost track of that. So there we made mistakes. Like, for instance, if she was invited on current affairs show, there was no point of inviting a reality TV star on current affairs show, regardless of the fact that she was becoming popular or not. We could have, covered her in news, but the question that we can ask the mainstream media, the news media, is what kind of editorial framing would they do around Qandeel? So whether we could ridicule her, or whether we could shame her, or we could create a kind of public perception where people would think that they are better than her and they are in a place to tell her that she should behave in a certain way. These are the questions that we can ask the news or current affairs media, that how they reported on Qandeel. When I come to the print media, like I have been following, the culture reporting on Qandeel that has been happening. And I'm very sad to say that even the English language media had been pimping Qandeel's story. And they have been doing stories like BuzzFeed stories like 10 things you don't know about Qandeel's video, or 10 things you don't know about her style, or something like that. So what I'm saying is, if they were like sensitive, the television media and the print media and every kind of reporting that was happening in Pakistan on Qandeel, we could see that the issues that Qandeel was facing were basically not even feminist issues. They were equality issues. They were class issues. If you ask me, I would see her as somebody who was trying to break through that system where somebody who comes from an underprivileged class and who does not have access to a certain kind of privileges in life was trying to outdo herself, and she was doing anything to get there. So for me, it's more of a kind of a class debate and an equality debate. And media did not, if culture reporting had to happen on Qandeel, media should have led opinion in that way, that she's a victim of the society rather than ridiculing her or moral policing around her.
Brother Waqar, on the point of, in terms of her popularity in the media, do you think the public at large are also, a factor in this, in terms of, they may revile her so much, but then, they will tune in to watch her on television. What do you think about this?
Actually, the electronic media, the TV channels, and some of them, not all of them, they actually brought her on in the mainstream. They used her in creating controversies, like they used her to ridicule a Mufti, Islamic scholar, Abdul Kavi. Although he too was responsible for his own defamation, but the media, they fueled the controversy. But in the end, they got rating. The TV channels, they got rating, and of course, Qandeel got popular. She was a celebrity here. Even in international media, her death was considered as a killing of a Pakistani celebrity.
And Noreen, if I bring you in now, now looking at the figure of Qandeel Baloch, of course, she had one persona, on social media, but in her life story, her life story is actually quite remarkable. She did start from poor origins, went into an apparent abusive marriage, then became a financially independent woman, providing for a family. Do you think there is, people should remember the star more than what she was doing online or on media?
If we accept that the social media is kind of a pulse on society, because some people disagree with the fact, because everybody does not have access to social media even, but whatever kind of opinion that you can get through social media of the public, you can see that public is divided. You can see that there are moralists on one side who see her as somebody who was vile and promiscuous and should be shamed for that, and they find it the killing of Qandeel Baloch. They find this behavior of Qandeel Baloch as a justification for her killing, that she brought it upon herself. So the moralist, you find one point of view, that there's a moralist point of view, and then there is the other point of view which comes like people who are feeling sorry for her, people who are ashamed of the fact that they did not pay attention to her in that light, that she might, because in earlier days the story was not revealed the way it has been revealed right now. So it was coming in stages. Nobody knew where she hailed from. Like when she was going on social media with those videos, the kind of house that she was sitting in, people thought that she comes from an affluent background, because she was trying to outdo herself. So she was posing as somebody who has access to that kind of lifestyle which a supermodel has. So yeah, there was a kind of ambiguity related to how people felt about her before her death. But right now you can see that people are ashamed. A lot of people who were not very kind to her in their comments. They are ashamed of their comments and all. And then you find that those kind of groups who are doing campaigns about her, who see her as a feminist symbol of empowerment and all that. So the moral is, if you see that they say that if you you start relating with Qandeel as a symbol of empowerment, then they feel that our girls are going to become, they are going to start deriving inspiration from somebody like Qandeel, and they are going to get promiscuous like her. So this is the kind of debate that is happening. But if you ask me, I would say that overall, I have seen that Qandeel has kind of she has shaken our society. And I have, in the past week, when after her death, I have seen the programs that are happening after her death. It's not a justification that media is now, becoming better or anything. I'm just citing examples what I found Qandeel has been able to do to the mainstream media. Like, I don't know whether we can quote names of programs on your show. Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay, so there is this program on one of the largest TV news channel, Shahzeb Khanzada ke saath. I have seen that Shahzeb has been doing segments on Qandeel, which when I was growing up and when I was not working for media, I could not even imagine that Jio would do on a 10 p.m. slot. The kind of debate that is happening around, whether a woman should be that bold, whether society should be ridiculing a woman for her being a woman, or whether there should be different kind of roles expected from a man or a woman, or whether promiscuity is enough to shame somebody to, kind of create a perception where somebody is motivated to kill them. This is huge. And on social media, I have seen the gender altering kind of memes happening where people are, writing things where, they are saying that there is a scenario. They put a picture where they put a breaking news kind of a template, and they're kind of creating scenarios where they're saying that whatever happened to Qandeel happens to Mufti Kavi. So in these kind of scenarios, you can see that people are getting sensitized. A little bit of sensitivity is being created around it. So yes, I am hopeful, because for the first time ever in the social consciousness of the society, this kind of sensitivity is arising. Okay. And what I feel now media needs to do is, just one more point, what I feel now media needs to do is just to create a consensus. Whether we are a religious society, a conservative society, we just need to create a consensus that even if we don't like people like Qandeel, if she's a social media star, they should stop liking her page. They should stop tuning into what she's doing. And we should create a consensus on the fact that killing is not justified. This is the first step that Pakistani media can do.
Okay, Noreen, on that point, we will have to bring, it brings us to the end of this segment of Asia Wide. I'm sure we'll be following this in the next few weeks.